Hi guys, this is George back here with another video and welcome to the third episode here working on World of Adventure in Planet Coaster, my World's Fair theme park. And as you can see, I am currently working on a new roller coaster. This is a GCI wooden coaster. This is going to be the signature attraction in the third themed area inside of this park. So of course, this theme park is all about different areas themed to different countries. However, this one isn't a country. This one is in fact themed to a continent. This is going to be the signature attraction inside my Africa themed area. So as you can see, I'm just working on the first drop there. Originally, I was going to have it so it went through the structure, but then I decided, you know what, it's getting in the way of the station. I don't want that. So you can see now that I'm working on a turnaround section here. I actually end up doing quite a lot of work on this layout and changing things up quite a bit. Sometimes I'll do something and then delete it and do it again, or do something different. I spent probably about 40 minutes working on this coaster overall. I spent quite a bit of time on it, kind of making changes and tweaking it every once in a while. It's like sometimes I'll put something in and then decide, actually, I don't like that. I want to do this differently. As you can see, I've just deleted a whole section there and instead I'm banking it the other way instead. Now, this section here was going to be a station fly through. So, of course, some wooden coasters, I can't think of any steel coasters right now off the top of my head that have a station fly through. However, a coaster with a station fly through that does stand out for me is Troy at Toverland. Of course, you go around there and then you go through the station. The Swarm at Thorpe Park kind of a little bit. It goes right above the station, and because there's no roof, it kind of feels like a station fly through. However, I don't know if I'd really class it as that. So that straight section there, that was going to be a station fly through. However, when I put the building in, I decided it looked a bit weird, and I didn't really like how big the building was, and I wanted to make it a bit smaller for the station. So I thought, you know what, I won't have a station fly through, and instead it's just going to go over the top of the station roof. So here we go. You can see a helix has just gone in now. This is quite a short wooden coaster. Now, something with the wooden coasters in this game is they tend to lose their speed quite quickly. So therefore, I did have to make quite a short coaster, so it kept its speed going around. Because I'd rather have a short coaster, but it kept its speed up and it was action packed rather than a long coaster, but it's just dragging on until the final brake run. So it is quite short, but you'll see I actually end up completing the layout and then I go and make some changes because you get quite close to the structure, and you'll see that when you see a POV of this. I put in a sped up POV, but you get very close to the structure, and of course I want to make this as realistic as possible. If this was a real theme park, you would hit that if you were that close to the structure. So I do make changes to it, which you'll see later on. But you can see they're just working on the final airtime hills just there. And it's at this point where I'm watching the speed, and then by the end you can tell it is starting to lose its speed a little bit. So I thought that if I went under the ground, then I could use that to build up more speed, and it would be a bit of a better airtime hill. And then you come back up into the brake run, which you'll see go in now. So there we go. There's that just going round. There we go. That's all joined up. So yeah, you're about to see a POV now. There we go. Just watching to make sure it has a good amount of speed to go through the rest of the layout. Well, here we go. I'm just making some changes. Yeah, I wanted to make that airtime hill a bit steeper, so you got a bit more ejector airtime there. There's lots of whippy transitions on this coaster, lots of twists to the side and S bends and ejector airtime hills. So here we go. You can see that I'm going around smoothing the coaster now. So yeah, this doesn't end up being the final layout. I do make some changes. There we go. You can see that kind of using the smooth all tool kind of changes the shape of the elements of the coaster. So I ended up having to bank some more sections again, and you'll see especially later when I changed the layout and I put an S bend in. I try to use the smooth all tool, and then it just makes it so it's not banked. So I end up spending quite a bit of time making sure that's exactly perfect because I want it to be comfortable, but also that it throws you to the side and has some whip to it. Here we go. You can see me working on that final airtime hill just there. The smooth all tool has gone and changed that from how I wanted it as well. So I had to do a bit more work on there. And here we go. Now it's time, I believe, oh no, I'm just changing the colors up of the train and the actual structure. Of course, I don't want a white support structure because most GCIs, in fact, probably all GCIs, they don't have a white support structure. So I've just made it look a bit more like a modern wooden coaster rather than a vintage wooden coaster. I do end up changing the colours of the trains again because by this point I didn't know what I wanted to name the coaster. However, I do now have a name and it didn't work with the colours that the trains are at this point, so I did end up changing them. I'll reveal the name in the next episode. Here we go. So you can see a POV, and that was one of the sections where you get extremely close to the structure, and there's another couple of moments like that coming up as well. So there we go. Yeah, you can see it does get very close to the structure. Imagine if that was real life and you had your arms up, you would hit that structure, and then of course those sections kind of weave up next to each other, and it's a bit weird. There's just no clearance. So you can see I'm starting by trying to make that a little bit higher, but it doesn't really work out very well because of course this is very compact. I was trying to fit this into a very compact space. By the time I change the layout up, it does take up more of a footprint. However, it doesn't have any problems going too close to the structure. So you can see I've just put an S-bend in there. And now you can see another airtime hill going in, which will connect up to that overbank just there. There we go. And you're now about to see that smoothing that I was talking about earlier, and how I had to spend quite a lot of time working on that S-bend, making sure it was comfortable but also whippy. There we go, just watching the speed of the train going around there. So yeah, it does go through that section quite fast. It's kind of that final turn there into that final airtime hill where it starts to lose its speed a little bit. It's not too bad though. It definitely still has speed. However, you can tell it's a bit slower than some of these other elements. There we go, just smoothing out that airtime hill there, the twisted airtime hill, making sure it's perfect there. This was another one where I had to make sure the banking was exactly perfect, making sure it wasn't uncomfortable. Here we go. You can see how flat that banking is just there now. So I needed to do some work making sure that you didn't just kind of jolt over to the side and it was smooth. There we go. So you can see some more work going on just there, and then making that section a bit steeper in terms of the banking. There we go. You can see that section's now done. And I'll show you a real-time POV in the next episode as well, once all the theming's done as well. Here we go. I was going to go for another. Oh, here we go. Yep. Sped up POV. Yeah, I will show you one in real time next episode. Of course, there's still a lot of work to do at this point with all the theming and the rest of the area. And there'll be a couple of other rides going in the next episode as well. There we go. You can get an idea for what it would look like in real time, though. Yeah, I'm happy with this coaster. I think it's a pretty good layout, even though it's short, but I am happy with it. Here we go. So now you can see I'm working on the station building. There we go. So we're going with this kind of pink looking material. There we go. I was trying to move the coaster a bit to line it up with the station a bit better, but then I realised how much the structure got in the way of that section there. So I thought, you know what, it'll just have to go where it was before. You can see there, the structure was just going over the top of the track, but now it's okay. There we go, just removing some sections. Of course, this is where the queue line and exit gate are going to be. So yeah, as I said, that section above the station was going to be a station fly-through. But then, yeah, my plans changed when I realised that the building looked a bit ugly. Here we go. You can see me building up that second layer now. So yeah, it was about at this point where I was thinking, do you know what? I'm not sure I'm a fan of this. But I still went with it just to see, because I did really want to have a station fly through. But then I thought, you know what? No, this is not how I want it. So I removed it all. And now the roof is going to go on. So yeah, this section is just going to kind of fly right above the roof of the station now. It is a bit annoying because I would rather there something be there rather like an airtime hill or maybe an S bend or something rather than just going along a straight piece of track. But I'm worried that if I do put any more kind of like airtime hills in, I'm worried it's going to start to lose its speed and then go through the rest of the layout slower. And I'd rather have a more just going along a straight piece of track rather than it lose its speed for the final couple of elements. It's already a short ride, so I want to make sure it's action packed. There we go, just putting some doors on there now. I wasn't going to put that window on, by the way. I just wanted to look at it because of how the window smashes, and I just really like the look of that. There we go, you can see some windows going on just there. Some canopies. Yeah, I was just looking to see if there were any that would fit the look of the building better, and that one I did like the look of. There we go. Got some flaming torches going on just here as well. Maybe not. I decided to scrap that. There we go. So you can see quite a lot more of the area is done now. I've done some terrain work and there's also another building over there as well. So yeah, I'm not going to include all of the footage of me building this coaster because overall I've spent probably about 3 hours on this coaster. Not in this episode. You're probably seeing about maybe about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours of work that's been kind of cut down into this video. Here we go. You can see some trees going in just here. Some palm trees going in as well. We've got a mix of these different types of trees. I was just deciding which ones I wanted. And then I thought, you know what? Yeah, I like the look of those ones. So I'm just putting the trees all around this area. And then there'll be lots of rocks going in as well. And some other theming items as well to look at. There we go. You can see the rocks going in as well. And you can see it's a decent sized area as well. It's a lot bigger than the other two areas I've built. By the time the next episode comes, there's going to be other rides in this area as well. Well, there might only be one other ride. I'm not 100% sure yet. I haven't finished it yet. There's also going to be a bit of an African market in this area as well. I wanted to have a market in this area. There'll be lots of different shops over there. And there's also going to be another ride to the left of that pathway as well. Maybe I'll put a flat ride in as well. Depends if I can find space for it. Because, I mean, I'm trying to fit quite a lot of different themed areas into this park. So I want to make sure there's space for everything. So I have had to kind of keep things a bit compact. And with the way this area is, kind of right at the edge of the uh, park, the limit of where you can build, I don't know if I'm really going to be able to fit a flat ride in there. And then, of course, where the African market is and the other ride that's going to be going in. There we go. You can see another building going in here. So this is just about putting lots of different buildings in. None of these buildings have a purpose. They're just there to look as if they have a purpose as part of the theming. There we go. Just looking through all of the sections there, deciding what other buildings I wanted to do because I wanted to have a bit more of a mix rather than just those pink ones. So you can see we're going for a more white looking building here. I do turn that round eventually. I think I do anyway. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, there you go. You can see I'm turning it round. Just looked a bit silly with that one facing one way and then the other one's facing a different way. Here we go. Now I'm working. In fact, you might even see the name. I can't remember if I'd named it during this episode or if I did it off camera. Okay, either way, I might as well reveal it. Okay, so this coaster is called Mamba. So you can see the entrance going in for it just here. There we go, just changing the colours of that, making it fit into the area a bit better. There we go. Yeah, I do go back to that and put kind of an archway over those two pillars, and then of course the entrance sign as well. There we go, another building going in just here. Now you can see why I didn't want to include all of the footage of me putting every single thing in, because yeah, it took a while. There we go, there's a bit of an overview of the area so far. And then now you're going to see another building going. And I've also had some water effects in as well for Mamba, which you'll see go in shortly. Here we go. So yeah, I was going to put this building here, but then I decided to move it. So you'll see me build it, and then I end up putting it somewhere else. There we go. Oh, I do change the colours for it as well. There we go. You can see the roof turning a bit more gold there. Here we go. You can see I'm moving it now. A few more rocks going in just there, filling in all the empty space. Oh, my chair's squeaking. Yeah, I was looking at using those kind of that temple kind of looking wall, but then I decided actually I don't really want to do that. I was trying to do something a bit different to the other buildings that I'd put in by this point, but I ended up going with the same style. There you go, just lining that up. You'll see some more details going on here soon. You can see that most of the buildings I haven't put any kind of windows or lighting or anything on. I kind of saved that. I just decided I'll put the buildings in and then I'll go back to them another time and put all of the other smaller details on them. But you can see I am putting some windows and doors on this building here. Here we go. You can see some of those kind of flaming torches going on just there. I like the look of these. I think they look really cool. And at night they look fantastic as well. But yeah, I did change them with this building. Got these ones going on instead. I thought that they fit the area a lot better, even though those fire torches do look really good. I definitely plan on using them in other areas of the park. There we go, going back to this building here. Trying to decide what window I wanted to use. And then I decided I might change some of them because some of these walls are already, some of them have windows carved out already. So I decided, you know, I'll just use them instead. And here we go. Now you can see me working on the entrance portal to this themed area. So just adding that in. And I do change the path up a little bit as well. Make the entrance a bit more central. There we go. The pathway is in. Just moving that slightly to the right there, as you can see. And here we go. Some rocks going around there and some trees will go in a minute. There we go, just doing some terrain work now. Of course, I want you to feel immersed in these different themed areas. I don't want you to be able to kind of see too much outside of them. Of course, when you're on the rides, that's going to be unavoidable. However, when you're on ground level, I'd like you to not really be able to see outside of the areas. And there we go, you can see the sign is just going on there. So yeah, I wanted to use those kind of bollards as the support, what holds the sign. So you can see there, just making sure that's lined up. There we go, a few more details going in just there. And yes, I did put those the wrong way, so I do change that. There we go. So yeah, creating a bit of a, what Disney like to call a berm, which stops you from seeing outside of the themed area. And here we go, you can see me working over towards this section of Mamba that goes over the lake, and you'll see these water effects going in just now. There we go. So of course, just triggering them up to the coaster. There we go. So then I was deciding whether I kind of put them under the water, but then they don't kind of shoot up as far. And then I decided, do you know what? I'll just put rocks over them instead. Therefore, you shouldn't see them from the pathway. There we go, more rocks just going in. And then I end up using a few kind of scenery items from the western section. Kind of put just some crates and things around, which you'll see going shortly. There we go, just working on Bit of a hill there, just at the edge of the park boundary. There we go. So to the right of that main pathway, that's where the market's going to be. There we go. You can see me putting the path out for that now. I'll be building that in the next episode. More trees going in just here. And there we go. You can see I did want to put a plane in, but then I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that just now. I'm going to save it as something that'll be part of the next attraction that I put in. You can see just some random theming pieces getting scattered around the place now as we approach the end of this episode. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you all later. Bye.